Good morning, friends. I have this book to read to you, and the title is Stellaluna, and it's by Janelle Cannon. And since there's only one name here, that means Janelle Cannon is the author and the illustrator. The author, remember, writes the words, and the illustrator does the pictures. So for this book, Janelle Cannon did both. And I want you to look really close. What is that creature right there? Yeah, that's a bat. And a bat is the only mammal that flies. Here we see some pictures, some drawings. Stellaluna by Janelle Cannon. We see the bat right there. In a warm and sultry forest far, far away, there once lived a mother fruit bat and her new baby. Oh, how Mother Bat loved her soft, tiny baby. "I'll name you Stellaluna," she crooned. Each night, Mother Bat would carry Stellaluna clutched to her breast as she flew out to search for food. So this is a fruit bat. There are different kinds of bats. One night, as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings, the powerful bird swooped down upon the bats. Dodging and shrieking, Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stellaluna into the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper. Down, down she went, faster and faster into the forest below. So this means that the owl is a predator of the fruit bat. And poor little Stellaluna, who was holding tight to her mama's chest because her wings are still developing, she was knocked down and she's falling. She can't fly yet. Her wings aren't strong enough. The dark, leafy tangle of branches caught Stellaluna as she fell. One twig was small enough for Stellaluna's tiny feet. Wrapping her wings about her, she clutched the thin branch, trembling with cold and fear. "Mother," squeaked Stellaluna, "where are you?" By daybreak, the baby bat could hold on no longer. Down, down again she dropped. So bats, they actually sleep hanging upside down by their feet. They wrap their wings around them to keep safe and warm, and then they hang upside down by their feet to sleep. Flump! Stellaluna landed headfirst in a soft, downy nest, startling the 3 baby birds who lived there. Stellaluna quickly clambered from the nest and hung out of sight below it. She listened to the babble of the 3 birds. "What was that?" cried Flap. "I don't know, but it's hanging by its feet," chirped Flitter. "Shh, here comes Mama," hissed Pip. So she fell into a nest of birds. And birds, they kind of stand on their feet in their nest like normal. But Stellaluna, she hangs by her feet, so she climbed out. Many, many times that day, Mama Bird flew away, always returning with food for her babies. Stellaluna was terribly hungry, but not for the crawly things Mama Bird brought. Finally, though, the little bat could bear it no longer. She climbed into the nest, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. Plop! In dropped a big green grasshopper. So Stellaluna is not used to eating bugs. She's a fruit bat, so she's used to eating fruit. Stellaluna learned to be like the birds. She stayed awake all day and slept at night. She ate bugs even though they tasted awful. Her bat ways were quickly disappearing, except for one thing. Stellaluna still liked to sleep hanging by her feet. Once, when Mama was away, the curious baby birds decided to try it too. When Mama Bird came home, she saw 8 tiny feet gripping the edge of the nest. "Eek!" she said. "Get back up here this instant. You're going to fall and break your necks." So the birds tried to do what Stellaluna is doing and hang by their feet. But birds are not made the same way as bats. Yes, they both have wings and they both have feet, but the birds are meant to stand on their feet, and the bats are made to hang from their feet. The birds clambered back into the nest, but Mama Bird stopped Stellaluna. You are teaching my children to do bad things. I will not let you back into this nest unless you promise to obey all the rules of this house. Stellaluna promised. She ate bugs without making faces. She slept in the nest at night, and she didn't hang by her feet. Stellaluna behaved as a good bird should. So Mama Bird was getting upset with Stellaluna because she wasn't acting like a bird, because she's a bat. All the babies grew quickly. Soon the nest became crowded. Mama Bird told them it was time to learn to fly. One by one, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna jumped from the nest. Their wings worked. I'm just like them, thought Stellaluna. I can fly too. So they're all flying. But you can notice the wings are very different on the bat than the bird. They have skin in between these long fingers. Those are actually its fingers. And these are the bones of its fingers. And it has skin in between, where the bird has feathers. So different creatures. Pip, Flitter, and Flap landed gracefully on a branch. Stellaluna tried to do the same. So look, Stellaluna is trying to land on the branch like the birds, but her feet are not made the same way. They are not made to stand on a branch like that. How embarrassing. Oh my goodness. Look, she's trying so hard, but she's just falling all over the place. It's not working for her. I will fly all day, Stellaluna told herself. Then no one will see how clumsy I am. So she's trying to solve her problem. But do you think she can fly all day? I don't know. The next day, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna went flying far from home. They flew for hours, exercising their new wings. The sun is setting, warned Flitter. We'd better go home or we will get lost in the dark, said Flap. But Stellaluna had flown far ahead and was nowhere to be seen. The three anxious birds went home without her. So we're coming up to another difference between the birds and Stellaluna. The three birds, they want to go home because they're going to get lost in the dark. But Stellaluna isn't having the same problem. All alone, Stellaluna flew and flew until her wings ached and she dropped into a tree. I promised not to hang by my feet, Stellaluna sighed. So she hung by her thumbs and soon fell asleep. She didn't hear the soft sound of wings coming near. So here she is. She's hanging by her thumbs, which is part of her hands. But you see kind of in the distance some other little flying creatures coming along. Hey, a loud voice said. Why are you hanging upside down? Stellaluna's eyes opened wide. She saw a most peculiar face. I'm not upside down, you are, Stellaluna said. Ah, but you're a bat. Bats hang by their feet. You are hanging by your thumbs, so that makes you upside down, the creature said. I'm a bat? I'm hanging by my feet. That makes me right side up. Stellaluna was confused. Mama Bird told me I was upside down. She said I was wrong. Wrong for a bird, maybe, but not for a bat. So another bat came along and said, you're hanging upside down, because bats are supposed to hang by their feet. More bats gathered around to see the strange young bat who behaved like a bird. Stellaluna told them her story. "You ate bugs?" stuttered one. "You slept at night?" gasped another. "How very strange," they all murmured. Wait, let me look at this child." The bat pushed through the crowd. "An owl attacked you?" she asked. Sniffing Stellaluna's fur, she whispered, "You are Stellaluna. You are my baby." So her mom came along, and she smelled her fur, because bats have fur, they don't have feathers, and recognized that that was her baby that had gotten lost when the owl attacked. "You escaped the owl!" cried Stellaluna. "You survived?" "Yes," said Mother Bat as she wrapped her wings around Stellaluna. "Come with me and I'll show you where to find the most delicious fruit. You'll never have to eat another bug as long as you live." So she's back with her mom, and she's going to do the bat things again and not have to eat bugs. She's going to eat the fruit. "But it's nighttime," Stellaluna squeaked. "We can't fly in the dark or we'll crash into trees." "We're bats," said Mother Bat. "We can see in the darkness. Come with us." Stellaluna was afraid, but she let go of the tree and dropped into the deep blue sky. Stellaluna could see. She felt as though rays of light shone from her eyes. She was able to see everything in her path. And that's true because bats are nocturnal. Remember, we talked about nocturnal before, that they're awake in the nighttime, and she can see in the dark, where a bird is not. A bird is diurnal. They are awake during the day, and they cannot see at nighttime. So they are different, the birds and the bats, in that way as well. Soon the bats found a mango tree, and Stellaluna ate as much of the fruit as she could hold. "I'll never eat another bug as long as I live," cheered Stellaluna as she stuffed herself full. "I must tell Pip, Flitter, and Flap." Oh, mangoes. I love mangoes. Such a delicious fruit. And Stellaluna is so excited because she's getting her delicious fruit again. The next day, Stellaluna went to visit the birds. "Come with me and meet my bat family," said Stellaluna. "Okay, let's go," agreed Pip. "They hang by their feet and they fly at night and they eat the best food in the world," Stellaluna explained to the birds on the way. As the birds flew among the bats, Flap said, "I feel upside down here." So the birds hung by their feet. "Wait until dark," Stellaluna said excitedly. "We will fly at night." So here you can see the 3 birds and the 2 bats. And remember what we said about the birds flying at night. Is that going to work? Let's see. When night came, Stellaluna flew away. Pip, Flitter, and Flap leapt from the tree to follow her. "I can't see a thing," yelled Pip. "Neither can I," howled Flitter. "Ah!" shrieked Flap. "They're going to crash," gasped Stellaluna. "I must rescue them." Stellaluna swooped about, grabbing her friends in the air. She lifted them to a tree, and the birds grasped a branch. Stellaluna hung from the limb above them. So remember, the birds, they are not nocturnal. They cannot see at night. It is dangerous for them to fly. "We're safe," said Stellaluna. Then she sighed. "I wish you could see in the dark, too." "We wish you could land on your feet," Flitter replied. Pip and Flap nodded. They perched in silence for a long time. "How can we be so different and feel so much alike?" mused Flitter. "And how can we feel so different and be so much alike?" wondered Pip. "I think this is quite a mystery," Flap chirped. "I agree," said Stellaluna. "But we're friends, and that's a fact." So yes, they are alike in some ways, and yet very different in others. But they're still friends. And then these are just some notes about bats, about them being nocturnal. And their Their wings are very similar to our hands. Bats have a thumb and we have a thumb, and they have these 4 long fingers that make up their wings, and we have those 4 fingers. So we are mammals just like bats. We're not the same in many other ways, but we are the same classification of animal. So we read Stellaluna today, and it was a great comparing and contrasting book. Comparing is how things are alike, and contrasting is how things are different. So my question for you today is, I want you to compare and contrast the bat, Stellaluna, and the birds. I want you to tell me 1 or 2 ways that they're alike and 1 or 2 ways that they're different. I can't wait to hear your comparing and contrasting. Have a great day, friends.